What's going on, y'all? Come on in, come on in. I've been trying to upload this video for the last 30 minutes, man. I'm having a lot of issues for some reason. I have no idea what's going on. I done tried to save it. I have some dope content. I was trying to put my music on and all that stuff, but it wasn't happening, man. So what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoyed watching the game. We back. We back March 26, 2022, and the Denver Nuggets come away with a 113 to 107 victory. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, that game couldn't have been closer. It couldn't have been closer. It couldn't have been closer. So, here I am. I kind of had the feeling that possibly could be a trap game, because y'all already know what it is. When the Denver Nuggets are playing against OKC, when the Denver Nuggets have an opportunity to come back after a game that they lost against the Phoenix Suns, you're like, all right, they could come back. Maybe they blow them out. But the way things have been, we never know. You never know what you're going to get from this team sometimes. It's not what you want to see all the time, but it is what it is. So here I am. I'm watching the game, and it's a great game from a standpoint of Yoke goes out, does what he needs to do. But the thing was, I was hoping that maybe this would be a game he doesn't have to play in the fourth quarter. But we had to struggle against OKC throughout the year, so you can't really know what to expect. But nonetheless, y'all. So tonight, Nikola Jokic goes out, has 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists on 13 of 15 shooting. 13 of 15 shooting with 2 blocks and also with 2 assists, and he was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So here's the thing. Per StatMuse, Nikola Jokic is one of the only players in NBA history that has 3 such games of 30, 10, and 5 over 85% shooting in his career. The only other player to have those kind of games, Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain. The only player to have a multiple 35, 10, and 5 games on 85+% shooting are Nikola Jokic and Wilt Chamberlain. I know sometimes that we get caught in the what's happening. We get caught in the moment. We're like, oh man, Nikola Jokic is great. We're watching it 35, 12, and 8, 13 to 15 shooting, 2 blocks, 2 steals. It's like, you know what, you can kind of expect that, right? Like he's just that great. But you don't ever, ever, ever want to shortchange yourself, because this is the most transcendent player that we've ever had in team history. He is the MVP. He looks like he's going to win the MVP again. And here's the thing. We're going to get to this in a minute, because I got multiple things I want to talk about, and I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time tonight. But one of the things is he has a 66% true shooting, averaging 26, 14, and 8. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's never been done before. It's never been done before. The thing is, man, we're watching somebody that is literally having to put on masterful performances every single night in order for the Denver Nuggets to be able to cruise by the Oklahoma City Thunder. And people already on Twitter, I knew what was going to happen. There's a dude named Drew Hanlon. He basically is the trainer for Joel Embiid. He's been coming out putting all this plus-minus stuff out about Nikola Jokic, saying look, 5 of the last 6 games he's been a negative, without putting in the context of the team that he's had, all this other stuff, right? But my whole thing is, again, on the season, Nikola Jokic has one of the best plus-minuses on the year, but the stuff that people will not pay attention to that are his haters and detractors is tonight, Nikola Jokic was a plus 19 in the game they won by 6 and had, again, 35, 12, and 8. 35, 12, and 8. And that is what it took for them to beat the OKC Thunder tonight. But it's not his fault. What do you want him to do? 2 blocks and 2 steals? He played defense. 35, 12, and 8, he played offense. He shot 13 of 15 from the field. That's 87%. There's not much, and 9 and 10 from the free throw line. There's nothing else you can ask him to do. So I want to get through this quickly. Will Barton tonight had 18 points. He had 18 points. Let me see here. 18 points. 7 rebounds and 6 assists, or 7 assists and 6 rebounds. I said this on Twitter, but if Will Barton was able to give you these kind of games on a consistent basis, give you 16, 5, and 5, the Denver Nuggets would be a lot better team, and in the clutch situation, they'd be much better. Because if you could get a 16, 5, and 5 player in your lineup that is giving you good efficiency, you can run a 2-man game with this player. He would be their second best offensive player by a pretty large margin. But he's just not always consistent enough, and also his situational awareness isn't great. Like at the end of the game, he shot that pull-up three-pointer when they were only up 2 points. It didn't make sense as it was. But again, sometimes he gets so lost in the moment that that's what he decides to do. That's what he gets done. So Aaron Gordon tonight had 20 points and 9 rebounds as well. Played good offense tonight. Aaron Gordon had a good game. Aaron Gordon was a plus 24 team high. He had 20 points, 9 rebounds. And he shot also 2 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He was 47% from the field and 8 of 17 shooting. Wasn't great. Bones Highland tonight had 9 points. He has 6 assists. He was 6 of 6 from the free throw line as well. So, again, man, Boogie Cousins tonight. He didn't play all that well at all. But he had 7 points and 8 rebounds tonight on 50% shooting. So it wasn't a great game. The bench didn't play great. A lot of them, most of them were in the minus. Davon Reed, minus 11. DeMarcus Cousins, minus 13. Bryn Ford, minus 9. Austin Rivers was a 0 because he played with the starters. And then Bones Highland was also a plus 1. So not a great game. But again, the Denver Nuggets win. They're now a full game ahead of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then they are literally a game and a half back from the 4th seed. And tomorrow, the Utah Jazz and Dallas Mavericks play, which means they'll be within half of a game for the 5th seed. And then after that, they also play the Charlotte Hornets and they play the Indiana Pacers. So they have an opportunity to move up in the standings and separate themselves because the Minnesota Timberwolves are playing against the Boston Celtics. So they have a chance to go up 2 games against the Timberwolves. And then they have an opportunity to move up into the standings to the 4th seed as high as they can. And at that point, the only difference between Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo is the fact that they have better teams and they have won more games because the teams have won more games without them in the lineup. I put a stat out today that Nikola Jokic, when he's in the lineup, the Denver Nuggets have won 41, now 42 games. When Joel Embiid's been in the lineup, they had won 41, now 42 games. And then when Giannis Antetokounmpo was in the lineup, the Bucks have won 40 games. So he's winning on par with both of those players. It's just a matter that when he hasn't been there, or when the team is falling apart with the bench and all this other stuff, they haven't been able to pick up the slack like they do for other players. So the next thing I want to talk about, man, so I don't know if you've been on my Twitter at all, but Ja Morant, him and I he has some things to say. So this is what happened. Ja Morant came out and said that basically on Twitter that he was always under the impression that the MVP had to come from an upper seed in the conferences. So how could you be in the MVP conversation if you weren't a part of one of the top 3 seeds, basically? Now, Devin Booker obviously is leading the 60-14 Phoenix Suns. And so everybody obviously been talking about Devin Booker the last couple of days. The media has been asking the question, well, why haven't more people been talking about him? He deserved to be mentioned in the conversation. My thing is what does that mean to be mentioned in the conversation, right? But Ja Morant comes out after that and saying that he believes that Devin Booker is a top 3 MVP candidate. So my thing was that sounds like anti-Jokic stuff to me because the only person that's in the MVP conversation that isn't the top seed is Nikola Jokic. So are we then saying that Nikola Jokic somehow should be out of the conversation because Devin Booker is leading the 60-14 Phoenix Suns with DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and Jay Crowder and the rest of the squad? What are we talking about? So I said something to him, and what I said in my tweet that obviously went viral, had over 1 million impressions, was that I basically said, Ja Morant, if your take is that Devin Booker should be over Nikola Jokic in the MVP conversation, that's not just a weird take. It seems anti-Jokic, but it also was a casual take because I wanted to say uninformed, but I didn't want to be disrespectful, but it sounds uninformed because I don't think anybody can actually make a basketball. I know you can't make a basketball argument that Devin Booker is more valuable. But again, if you're just saying team wins, well, team wins, that's a team stat. That's not up to the player. And it's not like Jokic just so far behind all the rest of the players that are in contention as well. He just plays in a tougher conference. So long story short, I did a bunch of Twitter spaces about it. And my whole thing is we did all NBA teams today. Devin Booker wasn't even mentioned for first team all NBA. I had Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. I think Devin Booker can make second team all NBA this year. I think he's been good enough. But the fact of the matter is that Nikola Jokic has been so good. He's done so much for this team. I just think the idea that you can have the 3 best players all season be Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then Joel Embiid, and somehow Devin Booker creeps into that conversation because he's on a great team, and he's been great on a great team. But his greatness, in comparison, Nikola Jokic, for instance, raw data, he's not a better offensive player, not a better defensive player, not a better rebounder. He's also not doing more with less talent. And then on top of that, the raw data speaks for itself, the advanced data speaks for itself, the on-off speaks for itself, the net rating speaks for itself. All of it favors Jokic by a significant margin. Devin Booker is not in that category of player, and that's okay. But it's been force-fed. And so I got to the point where I had to respond. Because when Ja Morant's saying stuff like this, and again, is seemingly going against Nikola Jokic because we're talking about team standings, even though the MVP candidates have won 42 to 40 games while they've been in the lineup, but that's somehow Jokic's fault. Just can't be. It just can't be, y'all. If y'all got some questions, drop your super chat, man. I got a couple minutes here. If you want me to answer a question, drop your super chat. I'll answer a question. We can get to it. Like I said, I'm sorry I can't give you the formal video tonight. I have no idea what's going on with my computer. I've literally like restarted it, reset it, but I have not been able to use like to get the video to work. And I mean, I did 2 different sets of videos, man, and they didn't save it. They did not save it. They did not save it. If you got a question, drop it in the super chat, man. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Yeah, and again, I just think the conversation surrounding MVP is much deeper than team standing. Because like I said, if you just accumulate the wins, again, my whole thing is if you won 42 games and you won 40 games, all 3 of them are in the same place, then we're not talking about, we're just talking about conference difference. They're not in the same conference. Like for me, Devin Booker hasn't had a better season than Nikola Jokic, than Giannis Antetokounmpo, then Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, and also Jason Tatum. I think all 5 of those players have been clearly better. Clearly better. So I don't think that you can actually make an argument that Devin Booker deserves to be over those 3, especially when you can't feasibly put him as a first-team All-NBA player over Doncic or Steph Curry. You just can't do it. Now, maybe some analysts are going to vote that because the team wins, but I don't know how you make a basketball argument that he's been more important to his team than Luka has. Or he's been more important to his team than Steph Curry. I think Luka Doncic has just been exceptional. He has done a lot of great things. He has, has the Celtics been the best team in the East? Yeah, absolutely. They might be the 1 seed. They really might be the 1 seed. The Heat lost 4 straight, so they dropped out of the 1 seed. The Bucks lost today. They dropped. Like, had they Bucks won, then they would be sitting in the 1 seed right now. But Joel Embiid and the 76ers, they're the 1 seed right now. Everybody keep losing. But like I'm saying, man, like, they won, 47, 48 games? And you're in the 1 seed in the East? That's what I'm talking about. Like, we have 60 win teams and 50 win teams in the Western Conference, and we're talking about like MVP races and all that. Anyway, y'all. So I'm not gonna make this too long. Just wanted to get the video out, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get this up, man. Y'all appreciate y'all. Y'all my people, man. Hey, I'll see y'all soon. Hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 to go to Serbia, y'all. Let's get to 9,000. Like soon, ASAP. I know people in the chat. I know people in the comments. If you in the chat, please hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Let's grow it together. I know we can do it, y'all. Hey, man. Y'all my people, Swipa gang. Love y'all. Hey, I'm going to see y'all soon. Keep it real.